Welcome to TV Burp. This week on Spooks, we discovered Britain's most short-sighted sniper. Come on. Come on. Eddie Izzard makes a guest appearance on Emmerdale.
And where's your own? Still living with his dad.
And there's a new pimp on Coronation Street.
Hey, you want to watch who you're saying that to?
Hey, my man. Where the party go? And on EastEnders, Charlie Slater's back on the booze. Holiday showdown now. This week it was the turn of the Jeffries family, who normally like to go to Minorca. Mr. Jeffries had a very important job.
Meet the Jeffries family from Sandy in Bedfordshire. Dad Richard is a bodyguard to the stars. He's worked with the likes of Davina McCall, Harry Enfield and toured with the Spice Girls.
Security for Harry Enfield? The toughest job of them all. The job that every bodyguard prays he doesn't get. Yeah, I took a couple of bullets for Harry Enfield. They like to go to Minorca, so where did the Sec family take them? To a yogic retreat in the French Alps, where they were taught yoga by an expert.
Would you like just to lie down and relax?
The yoga will be taught by 79-year-old Bridget Lytton Minor.
Blimey, if that's Bridget Lytton Minor, how old's Bridget Lytton Major? Hey, what's a word for a large expanse of water that rhymes with motion?
Happiness moves in a circular motion. Life is like a little boat on the sea.
Sea, that's right, yeah. That's not a circular motion, that's up and down. See, nick the tune off Michael Finnegan.
Everything anyway.
Poor old Michael Finnegan begin again. That was this week. But earlier in the series, we were treated to the delights of the Dixon Box family, particularly Fiona Dixon Box, who likes a laugh. Oh, yes, she really knows how to let her hair down.
Hey, Barry!
Who's that, Lord Lucan? Or is it Rolf Harris's long-lost brother? So that's one half of the swap. The other half, the Westheads, the mum and dad are shy and retiring types. They're strippers.
Amazing that she's got that ability to let herself go, the confidence to let herself go. I'd love to do that.
Ooh, I wish I had the confidence to let myself go. You're a stripper! You take your clothes off in front of strangers! What's wrong with you? This week, Holby City had a surprise visit from Kilroy.
Bit lively in here today.
I'd like to see a white nurse, please. Oh, Tina Hobley accidentally walked into a Holby scriptwriters meeting. EastEnders, and poor Pauline Fowler, very unlucky, had a nasty fall. She was only doing what every self-respecting Cockney does of a Friday night. You go up a ladder and start scrubbing the brickwork, don't you? In the pitch dark. It's one of them traditions down the East End. You scrubbed your brickwork yet, the old Cockney sparrow? Nah, I'm saving till it gets a bit darker. I'll put a bit of danger into it. Still, at least she's got someone to go home to. A new puppy.
Showing you.
It's Spit the dog. There's another new character on the square as well.
Oh, that's the way you've lived your life, is it? Very impressive.
Goosey Goosey. Hello, everybody. I'm Goosey Goosey. Can I have a piece of bread, please? Elsewhere on the square, Julie and Mickey hatched a plan.
Yeah, but how do we know who's got it and who ain't got it?
We'll have to figure out some sort of scoring system. You know, putting all the different kinds of factors into account.
You mean like top trumps?
Oh, my word. Michael Miller. That is sheer genius!
EastEnders top trumps, sheer genius. We've got them here, look. Yeah, you fancy a game, Goosey? Oh. All right. Here's your cards. Here's mine. Right, I'll start. Pauline Fowler. OK, cleanliness of brickwork, 9. Rose Miller, Cleanliness of Brickwork 2. Yes, very dirty brickwork, the Miller. Yes. OK, you go next. Oh, you got Dirty Den. What? Likelihood of being sacked, 7. OK. And I've got... Oh, the Ferreiras. I win. Said it. No, that's not fair. It was Eddie Ferreira's birthday this week, and he is popular. Look what everyone in the cafe clubbed together to buy him.
It's your birthday today.
Donut with a candle in it. Go on, Eddie, chuck in. It's on the house. Fill your pockets with salt and pepper. Help yourself to as much ketchup as you can eat. It seems to me, Eddie, you've lived your life like a candle on a donut. Now, in a rare moment this week, ITN News anchor Nick Owen discussed his sex life.
And I haven't seen mine for 9 years.
Of course not. No, this was Jenny Bond's Royals. What a show, what a gal, what a performer, with her hilarious routines.
What are the tights that you wear? And she said, oh, hang on a second. And she went off to the bedroom. And she came back carrying some tights. And I was looking at them, trying to see what they were and memorise it, when she said, oh, please have them. So I said, oh, thank you so much. So I trotted off, and a few days later I was at a do, and one of her ladies-in-waiting came up to me and said, oh, Jenny, the princess wants to know, how are your royal tights doing? And I said, well, they're fine, thank you very much. And then I laddered them, as you do.
How tickled I am. Yeah, I wouldn't open with it, Jen. You know. Put your strongest stuff at the top as a rule. Build to the hilarious tights routine. You know who I'm missing off our screens? Cilla Black. We've hardly seen her since Blind Date finished, but she gets around. I spotted her in the cafe in Emmerdale.
Oh, charmed.
Here she is, look. It was the week of the big dingle party. Do you ever have that thing where you're halfway through saying something and then the ferret down your trousers wakes up?
We've got to lay on a party here that people will talk about for years to come.
We've got to lay on a party here that people will talk about for years to come. The big party. There was food and drink, a disco. Steph was on lights. We met the whole extended Dingle family. Zach Dingle, Elvis Dingle, Solomon Dingle, and this one.
The rules are very simple.
Dr. Robert Winston Dingle. Yeah. Do you ever get that feeling when you're just gasping for a drink, whatever time of day it is?
I'll kill him.
Pete Waterman's got a new show. Passed over for the X Factor, he's got his own show, Trains with Pete Waterman. Yeah, what could be more entertaining than Pete Waterman talking about trains?
Back then, British Rail was so short of labour, we ended up doing everything. Stoking, oiling, cleaning, boring.
British Isles now, the new Alan Titchmarsh vehicle. You know, the bloke off ground force with the history of Britain. Here's his idea of what Neanderthals were really like.
The popular image of Neanderthals is that they were brutish, uncivilised, and that they spoke in grunts. But we know that's not true. They cared for the sick and the elderly.
Oh, how much they charge per hour? I could do with a couple of Neanderthals to look after my nan. This looked like the perfect opportunity for Alan to get made over into a Neanderthal.
In just 4 hours, I've turned into a caveman. Some scientists think that Neanderthals were so closely related to us that if one walked down the street today, no one would notice.
Wait a minute. I know that face. It's Zach from Emmerdale.
That people will talk about for years to come.
So there was Alan, to all intents and purposes, a Neanderthal.
For someone who's used to being recognised in the street...
Yes, Neanderthals shopped at Man at CNA too. You know, the British Isles that Alan describes, I'm not sure I recognise them.
For me, Our landscape, plants and animals, the ever-changing weather and the turn of the seasons make the British Isles a magical place.
Red squirrels? When was the last time you saw a red squirrel? He's living in a dream world. The British Isles, this magical kingdom, this jewel in the curry. But of course, 60 million years ago, it were very different. In those days, the fields were made of icing sugar. Licorice all sorts were in abundance. Oh, yum yum. Sandy cane trees grew sherbet dib-dabs. Dogs explored the deep. And monkeys rode around on bicycles, as this early footage shows. Then came the big freeze. It was chilly back then. So much so that the elderly were looked after by chimpanzees, dressed in country casuals. Queen Victoria was black. And employed a budgerigar to tap dance to the latest Robbie Williams tracks. Giant squirrels fed TV presenters like myself spaghetti bolognese from a pouch on their tum-tum. Yum yum. 2, 3, 4. Happiness smooth in a circle. Good old Blighty. You know, I was just thinking, who does have the most boring anecdotes that go nowhere? Jenny Bond or Pete Waterman? There's only one way to find out. See you after the break. Welcome back. Fans of EastEnders stage benefit to save the Ferreira family. Actors on hold be told to play it a bit more showbiz. And Sharon lets one go at the wardrobe. You ever get that feeling when you're presenting a show that you mustn't move your hands?
Let's see how our two teams are shaping up against each other as property developers.
Don't move your hands or the spell will be broken. And as Tracy breaks the actors' strike on Corrie, the rest of the Barlows stand firm.
I mean, if I grovel long enough, you'll come round, won't you? Well, I've done far worse things than this in the past. You've always let me back in. Look, come on, guys. I'm desperate. I'm begging you. I've got no one, nowhere, please. Fine. Well, I'll just go and wander the street, shall I? Sleep in a doorway. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's emotional blackmail, isn't it?
And this week on Corrie, baby Barlow made quite an entrance.
We always go to Cleveley's.
Ah, you were expecting me, I hope. Love was very much in the air this week, as it was the occasion of Sunita's Hindu Hendu, and you're probably like me. You love all that Indian music and, of course, the graceful and intricate dance routines that go with it.
Oh, it's all right. He'll be here in a minute. He's doing some work up at the convent. One of the sisters has given him this.
Oh, you're all right, Philip.
I wonder what the world would be like if we only ate food that rhymed with our names.
It's not like you to have brand jam.
A bit like that, I suppose. Return to River Cottage now, and Hugh Fernley-Whittingstall revealed that he is, in fact, a highly evolved species of bird.
Look at that. My first egg.
And what's the best way to keep your hands warm on a cold day?
Yep. It's a little hot. It's incredibly hot in there.
It's nice on a cold day.
Cow on each arm. What is a cow if it's not just a glorified mitten? First there was wife swap, then there was celebrity wife swap. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Wife Swap International.
Meet Sharon Thomas and Andy Davis. They're not married.
Whoa! Whoa! Slow down, not married. It's not a wife, then, is she? The whole thing's null and void. It's like changing rooms where they don't change anything in the room. You know? It's like too posh to wash with a normal person who's had a wash. It's a lie! But it's kind of fun. First up, the Davis-Thomas family, who are a modern British household.
Sharon and Andy's is a modern British household, with Sharon wearing the trousers.
I might have one decision out of 10, innit?
Yeah. Union Jack T-shirt, flagpole outside with the cross of St George, pit bull, working gallows in the garden. Typical modern British household. And the husband, well, he's a bit of an observational comedian, yeah. Listen to this original insight into the German character.
When you go on holiday, you're in a resort, it's always the Germans have got the towels out, innit? It's always, innit? Innit?
She's easily pleased, his wife. Have you noticed, innit, the French, they tend to walk around with a stripy jumper, innit, and a bite trying to flog you onions, innit? Yeah, have you noticed, innit, how the British tend to have a flagpole, a pit bull, and a rather narrow world view? Isn't it strange, though, when your boiler looks like your old wartime leader, though, eh?
From that altitude.
It's Hitler the boiler! It's from the old German version of 3-2-1. We had Dusty Bin, they had Hitler the boiler. Your rejected clue number 4 is a magnifying glass, which was the holiday, which means you win Hitler's the boiler. I don't know about you, but I find the best way to get into a car is the backwards revolve method.
Dorothy now. She's a free spirit, like me.
Oh, help.
Yes, the backwards revolve method every time. Don't you hate it, though, when you're driving along and your passenger's going faster than you are?
No.
Don't you lie to me.
OK, I mean, it just came out, and then I had no choice.
It's the bill! Yeah. It's the bill, and there's a new addition to the squad, the Sunhill Motorcycle Display Team. You feel bad about it, but there are occasions when crying is funny.
I really loved her, Gina.
Mediums Talking to the Dead now on BBC Two, in which we were given an extremely balanced overview of the psychic world, ranging from Gordon Smith at the top of the psychic ladder.
He's been described as Britain's most accurate medium. He's featured in today's Daily Mail, hailed as Psychic Barber.
A psychic barber, what's that? Or he looks into the future and predicts a haircut. I can see your hair getting longer. Gordon is heading for the big time with a trip to San Francisco, but the church warden doesn't think it'll change him.
And he'll be all right. He won't be spoiled. I'll stake my life on that.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say, you've had most of it. He gets to San Francisco, where he's shown the odd phenomenon of spirit paintings.
The church is famous for its collection of spirit paintings.
These paintings would just appear from nowhere.
Appeared from nowhere, yeah. That's not so much spirit paintings as stolen paintings. Even better was Darren, a rookie medium, very much on the first rung, and the programme makers really gave him a leg up.
I think Darren's got the looks, he's got the clairvoyance, and he's actually got the determination.
Yeah, he's got the looks. That's what you get when you go to a psychic barber. Short all over and stick it up in spikes at the front, please. Now, handsome Darren, with his matinee idol good looks, has a spirit guide. Brown Bear.
My spirit guide's Brown Bear. He wears 2 feathers. He clears my path.
Oh, how much does he charge an hour? It's not that same Neanderthal that's looking after Alan Titchmarsh's elderly relatives, is it? What would it be like getting a psychic message from a Neanderthal? A bit like this, I suppose. Back to Darren, the Adonis of mediumistic excellence. He's new, so he's not always spot on with his predictions.
When he passed, did you go and visit the grave and put a flower down for him?
No.
Ah. But he perseveres with his uncanny ability to put his finger exactly on it.
Who's a fond lover of 40 Towers and just getting 40 Towers come through?
You're getting 40 Towers? That haircut, he's getting Freeview on it. It's not a spirit world, it's UK gold.
Also now they're showing me Craig being dressed up in a little boy with a little hat on, a bobble hat. I don't know if he used to wear a bobble hat.
No, he's getting Crossroads. Later on, we got the chance to meet Darren's mum.
This is Mum. Proud of Mum.
And I'm proud of him.
Why? Hey? Why? Are you proud of a pillow with a face drawn on it? He never gets it right. Well, just time for some of the stuff that's coming out for the Christmas market. What have we got here? Yes, look, Jenny Bond Live. Yeah, features all her best routines, including legendary tights routine. Yes, nice one. Then from EastEnders, the Ferreira family, they've got some chocolates out. Ferreira Rocher. Yeah. Each with the face of your favourite Ferreira. The Daddy, Ash, Karina. EastEnders with your Ferreiras. You are spoiling us. And finally, there's these Hugh Fernley-Whitting Storm mittens. And to sing us out, it's Fiona Dixon-Box and Lord Lucan. Good night.
Next tonight, let the battle commence. The X Factor judges have made their decisions. Now it's your turn. It's the first of the live shows. Then, at 7:15, Robbie Williams gets a grilling from Little Anton Deck in Saturday Night Takeaway. And later at 8:15, more Millionaire. To TV Burp. Not content with sweeping the board at the National TV Awards, Coronation Street takes the war of the soaps up a gear. Take that, Albert Square! On Emmerdale, news spreads quickly that they've got a special offer on hay at the Woolpack.
Yeah, she's not really talking to anyone just yet. I'll tell you what.
The French decide to join the war in Iraq. Too little, too late. Casualty has its first case of exorcism.
Oh, Danny. Harry.
Page the priest! Page the priest! Heinz relaunch their condiments with an eye on the pink pound.
Brown sauce is for puffs.
And after their census, the Irish Prime Minister demands a recount.
Even today, there are only 20 mammals in Ireland.
Yeah. Mammals. Not as popular as they used to be, are they? Now, I like to think I'm a pretty good judge of character. You pick up little clues about people's personalities from little things they do.
I think when you realised that she wasn't a nice person was when she tried to kill everyone.
Yeah, little things like that, you know. What a week it's been on Coronation Street. What's that, Ashley?
Burst your eardrums, peel the odds for a pint and then fork out for a cab home.
Hey?
Burst your eardrums, peel the odds for a pint and then fork out for a cab home.
Maybe Maya can help.
Those that can't spell their own name could just do a paw print or something. That'd be me screwed.
Huh?
Spell their own name could just do a paw print or something. That'd be me screwed.
Anyone!
Vegetable soup and croutons, but look, the soup's not really a point on this.
Someone translate.
Brown sauce is for puffs.
I see, yeah. I'll tell you another thing we learnt about Ashley on Corrie that I hadn't noticed before.
I even love his feet, and technically speaking, they are what you call grotesque.
Really? In what way?
It's just like his toes are like fingers, they're dead long.
As I say, I hadn't noticed it, but if you look back at that earlier clip...
Burst your age, don't spill the odd strip pints and then fork out for a cabo.
Yes, it was the big wedding. And Deirdre chose to wear a jellyfish on her head.
Nobody's going to be looking at
you. It was a Hindu wedding, so the whole street went Indian. Don't tell Kilroy, he won't like that. You tried to take over your party leadership, but they wouldn't let you. There was a special guest appearance from Nadia off Big Brother. How do you know on a soap when things are definitely going to go wrong for someone?
She really does look happy, huh?
I don't think we'll be having any more trouble with her.
Oh! I've seen smaller signposts on the M1.
Senator Perec, I'm arresting you on suspicion of assisting in unlawful immigration and bigamy.
Just when we thought we wouldn't have any more trouble with her. Do you ever feel that maybe you said the wrong thing?
What's the food like?
Shouldn't like that.
If bad enough my wedding turned into a complete circus, that I was arrested in front of my parents, that I was carted off in a police car. Blushing bride. I was blushing all right. I have been strip searched, locked up, all my things confiscated, my wedding ring taken away, people barking orders at me, passing judgment on me, and what did I ever do wrong? I can't stand it! I can't stand it! I only ever wanted to be a wife.
Good job he didn't ask her if she liked her room. Here's her room, look. Where did they book her from? Lesbians or us? Looks like she's sharing a room with Billy Bragg. Wait a minute. Glass bricks? What's wrong with good old-fashioned bars? Looks like Lawrence has been in. I don't know, Corrie this week, it was like, well...
I mean, it was like an episode of The Bill.
Yeah. It was like an episode of The Bill. Corrie's getting more like The Bill's getting more like Corrie. It's soap swap. Take this new addition to the Sunhill Force.
You know those? Sergeant Toby.
Sergeant Toby! I knew they had police dogs. I didn't know they gave them ranks. Toby, fetch! That's Sergeant Toby, if you don't mind. There appeared to be another new addition to the team. A very tall policeman standing behind D.I. Morell.
We'll be focusing the investigation on PC Young's connection to the sniper from now on.
I'm still finding it difficult.
Oh, they're a crack team down at Sunhill. They never miss a clue.
But you can't be far away, so
yeah, never mind that. What about the baby that's hanged itself against the wall? In the pink romper suit. It's behind you! You're probably like me, though. Sometimes at work, you want to just disappear. Make yourself go invisible. If you can't do that, I suppose the next best thing would be to make yourself go all blurry.
I'm not going round there again.
I can make a few phone calls if you like, see what's happening.
Whatever.
That's mind control. See if I can do it. And back. The big story was Kerry being shot. Naturally, her best friend Yvonne would be upset. You would, wouldn't you? And how do you cheer yourself up? Have a paracetamol. You're probably like me. You steal stuff from your place of work. You know, pens, paper, light fittings. But what if you're a butcher?
Kidneys in that.
Yeah.
Our favourite meal, isn't it, kidneys?
I love them. Well, why don't you take one home for your tea?
Oh, you talked me into it. Just, you have to have a pair of them, don't you?
Just stuff them in your pocket, Ray.
Kidney in each pocket, a couple of chops down your trousers, and a single pork medallion under your hat. Ah, happy days. This was beyond River Cottage, and Hugh Fernley Whittingstall's restaurant's coming on apace.
What could be more romantic?
But footsie-friendly tables won't be much
Beautiful!
use
What a lovely piece of furniture. It's all leg. It's all a table you sit 6 people around, you're all on a leg. You know. Hugh's got big plans for a Valentine's night special.
I'm planning a variation on the Eastern European paprikash, using 2 unusual but rather appropriate parts of my hoggets. This may seem a little bit weird, but as far as I'm concerned, putting hearts and tongues together on the same plate is sort of a romantic gesture. When you think about it, Valentine's night, hearts and tongues, that's pretty much what it's all about, isn't it?
You know, what's wrong with flowers and chocolates? You know? Hearts and tongues, or paprikash, as he calls it. Paprikash, I thought he was a tennis player. There are these particular foods that do go well together, though, aren't there? Like, you know, cheese with pineapple, you know, champagne with caviar.
Nettles with oysters.
Nettles with... What? Cuckoo spit with cockles, they're nice, yeah. If you're feeling really romantic, roadkill and a pot noodle emptied over the top of it. All finished off with a dollop of bird's muck. No, be fair, nettles are packed full of goodness.
They're full of good things. Iron, natural histamines, vitamins.
Dogwee. You got a dogwee to take the taste of dogwee out of my mouth. Yeah, if you're going to Hugh's restaurant, you get a knife, a fork and a toothbrush. Being Hugh, of course, he got the oysters locally from the Devon version of Swiss Tony.
Eating oysters is like making love to a mermaid.
What are the flowers you always associate with love and Valentine's Day? Roses?
I can't resist picking a few snowdrops too. The traditional Valentine's flower.
That's what he's told his wife. Yeah. No, traditional present of Valentine's, yeah, not chocks, no, a nice piece of turf. Yeah, there you go, darling, bunch of snowdrops, piece of turf, go on, couple of kidneys, why not, yeah. Oh, you haven't touched your paprikash. So, how does it all go on the big night?
And what's the paprikash?
Spicy Eastern European dish, and the meat in it is hearts and tongues of lamb.
Tongues?
And 2 times roast lamb. Can't tempt you with the paprikash of hearts and tongues.
No.
He couldn't give it away. He'll be having cold paprikash for weeks. Paprikash salad, paprikash on toast, paprikash bolognese. Casualty now, and you're probably like me, you've noticed that there are basically 2 blonde pink nurses, a large one and a small one, that patrol the corridors of Holby General. One doing widths, the other doing lengths, right? I'm sure you picked that up, yeah. There's the small blonde pink nurse. She does lengths.
This is ridiculous. There's nothing...
Here she comes. Straight towards us.
Straight with each other.
And off. There she comes again. Through the doors. And off again. This time she follows the nurse. Oh, and away from us this time. That's the small blonde pink nurse. Then there's the bigger one that takes care of the widths. There she goes. There. All right. There. And right. Yeah, I thought you noticed that. Yeah. Here, what do you drink if you're a midget alcoholic?
I want to do miniatures full time.
World War II was back on TV in a big way this week. Yeah, this is Fooling Hitler.
Almost 800 decoys.
That's a hell of a framing job. Don't you hate it when you wipe the stuff off the mirror and it was on your face all along?
We were decimated. It would take us time to recover.
Fooling Hitler, as the name implies, was a docudrama about the ingenious methods we Brits used in the Second World War to fool the Jerrys.
But the war would teach me we'd need much more than canvas planes and decoy airfields to pull the wool over Hitler's eyes.
Canvas planes and decoy airfields, yes.
Along with the Ruperts came commandos, armed with gramophones, and a sonic deception soundtrack to unnerve the enemy even further.
Gramophones with sonic deception soundtrack to unnerve the enemy, yes.
In addition to coastal flame defences, I suggest, in the event of invasion, the deployment of women on horseback issued with trumpets.
Whoa! Just how easy was it to fool Hitler? Well, it turns out he was incredibly gullible, as this early footage shows. It's Hitler, you've been framed! Hello and welcome to You've Been Framed! And oh look, the Führer is taking advantage of a break in his busy schedule for a little quality time on his own. Or is he? Time for a little chat on the patio. What are the Führer's friends up to now? Uh-oh. Look out for that. Oh, my nose. Oh, my nose. What's this? Cling film over the Lucy's? That is just plain naughty. Look out, Hitler. I wouldn't go in there if I were you. I said I wouldn't go in there. Hitler. Oh, well, back to the drawing board. Oh. You know, I was just thinking, who is better at patrolling the corridors of casualty? The short pink blonde nurse who does lengths, or the tall pink blonde nurse who does widths? There's only one way to find out. Fight! See you after the break. Go on, short blonde pink nurse. Welcome back. Todd Carty regrets meal for two at the River Cottage restaurant. I should never have had the paprikash. Hugh Fernley-Whittingstall gets his own back on the shoplifting butcher. Gannets prefer to commit suicide than be interviewed by Alan Titchmarsh.
On the side, these are gannets.
Ever wondered what Paul McCartney and Heather Mills will look like in 20 years' time? Of course not. This was Wife Swap and the Clark family. This week's episode was particularly moving as Phil Clark opened his heart to us about his special bond with his 10 children.
It's like my prison sentence. You have got 18 years to do from your last child, so I've got 15 years left, and I'll be free again.
Gets you right there, doesn't it? This character was a self-confessed tightwad, living off leftovers and the cheapest stuff from the supermarket, as his temporary wife found out.
Deirdre starts by getting rid of the unhealthy food from the freezers.
God, what's that? Oh, no. Best before the end. July 96.
Yeah, if you keep looking, you should find a job lot of Hugh Fernley-Whittingstall's paprikash. He had quite a temper, though, old Phil.
Photographs of my parents have been removed. I've got a photograph of my dad and a photograph of my mum, and they've been removed. And that is intrusive, and I'm not having it.
Hello, Dad. Hello, Mum. How are you? Oh, are you going down the club later? EastEnders and Ian Beale's rebranding of the chip shop doesn't quite go according to plan.
Only the best for you, love.
Dame Fortune smiles upon the nail bar. Nail bar! Nail bar!
Oh, sorry, no, we're fully booked all day.
It's empty! There's no one in it! That's not fair, actually. Pat dropped by for another layer of creosote.
I think I'm dry enough. OK, I'll just get your top coat.
Who said slapstick was dead?
Oh. What's going on there? Must be a kink in it or something.
How long does it take you to butter a piece of toast?
Was I dreaming, Spence? Or did I hear an ambulance last night?
Yeah, over at the Fowlers, Martin got taken away in an ambulance.
Oh, did he? Has he had an accident?
So you going to go visit or not? Yeah, I'm going to go tonight. I'm in the office this day. He's back on Thursday.
Yeah, I can easily lose a morning just bushing away. If I'm adding Marmite, the whole day's a write-off. They could have done with some toast down at the cafe.
Any more for any more?
We'll have 2 big bowls of beans, please. And a spoon. Yeah. Spencer was left in charge of the fish and chip shop, so he drew up a timetable.
Jane. Fish delivery.
8:20, arrive at chip shop, get ready for fish delivery. 8:30, fish delivery. 8:45, check fish delivery. It all pivoted pretty much around that crucial fish delivery. I've got the next page here we are. Yeah. After the fish delivery, 9 o'clock, count the fish in the fish delivery to check that all the fish have been delivered. 9:15, stand back and admire fish delivery in all its glory. 9:30, make sure fish delivery is safely put away in fridge. 9:45, throw street party to celebrate safe arrival of fish delivery. 10 till 4, put butter on half a piece of toast. The other big story, of course, the Miller girl, Demi, who we've nicknamed Chav, yeah, Chav Miller, she had her baby. You know, there are occasions, aren't there, when you just don't know whether to laugh or cry. Well, why not try both? Have a paracetamol. You know when they're a bit short of stuff to put out on Channel 5? You know, the film's finished and they've got half an hour to kill before they put the next one on. You can almost hear them going, get that old shark programme out. You still want that shark programme knocking about? Thus, Bull Shark, Search for the Deadliest Shark, with Nigel Marven. We learnt of the shark's love of particular haircuts.
Let it spot the silvery flash of a mullet.
Look out, Peter Stewart! The main thrust of the programme was Nigel's feeling that sharks have been given a bad press.
Sharks have an image problem. Some of us think of them as giant monsters looking for people to eat.
1 or 2 people get eaten and the whole species gets a bad name. You don't read about the good sharks, though, do you? The sharks that are busy at home weaving little blankets for homeless chub. The sharks that work tirelessly teaching dolphins that have lost their confidence how to swim again. The sharks that recently formed a neighbourhood watch scheme and have cut death rates of baby turtles by half. Oh, no! And to prove how safe sharks are, Nigel takes to the water with a shark expert.
Wow! These sharks could easily take you out. So as long as we don't move, you know, and they realize we're not a threat to them, they couldn't care less.
Yeah, you're fine, as long as you don't move.
Yes, sir.
Ah, my leg! Ah, my leg! As long as you don't move, or keep still, you're perfectly safe to stand in the sea with sharks. He's an expert and he got bitten.
Sometimes humans get in the way and are eaten almost by accident.
It was an accident! I was going for the fish, the human got in the way. What's wrong with you? It's a mistake anybody could have made. I don't know, you eat one human. Nigel's not quite so brave after his friend gets bitten. He's still interested in getting close to sharks, but not such big ones.
80% of all sharks...
Can I go back in the water now? Yeah. A joke's a joke, yeah. I can't breathe, Nigel. I can't breathe. Put me back in the water.
Then, after a while, he gave up on sharks altogether. Started catching people. Get the keep net, I've caught another person. I must say, I've been enjoying Heidi High's Paul Shane on Emmerdale. But all good things must come to an end. He's off to another job.
Hey, don't tell me you're not stopping for your tea, Solomon. Stick your tea, your house and your family. I'm going back to real people who are miserable and hate one another.
That's right. He's got a job on EastEnders. Now, that's all we've got time for. To sing us out, the Baby Shark off of Bull Shark. Good night.
Starting shortly over on ITV2, they've reached the halfway point and emotions are really starting to show. On the block, Australia. Next here, can our judges make it through tonight's show without falling out? Well, that's a challenge in itself on the X Factor. And at 7:15, Ant and Dec host a Halloween special, Saturday night takeaway, and Millionaires later at 8:25.
Welcome to TV Burp. Jerry Halliwell limbers up for a comeback gigs. On Emmerdale, the Woolpack starts offering new Yorkshire-style cocktails.
A pint and a shut your gob if you don't mind.
Natasha Koplinski refutes those dressed like a hooker taunts. You dancing? And Jeremy Clarkson launches a new game show.
You can time me. How long it takes me to find a Clarkson gravestone.
Go. Here, ever get that dream where you're looking at an overweight 35-year-old Rastafarian, only he's got the voice of Mike Reed of EastEnders?
Yeah, it played no, of course you will.
No, this was age swap, yeah. Wife swap, sex swap, age swap. Here's an idea for a show. What about stamp swap? Yeah, two people who collect stamps, got more of one stamp than they want, swap that stamp with someone else who's got a stamp that they want. White trash, obviously. When they first started Mike's transformation, I thought for a moment we were back on sex swap. It's Queen Victoria. I'm back in the Queen Vic. What do you automatically think of when someone says Mike Reed?
Mike's prosthetic age swap makeup is at last ready. But will it solve the problem of disguising his enormous nose?
Big nose, right? Good old big nose Mike Reed.
The biggest challenge they face is how to turn back time and disguise Mike's huge hooter.
It's more of a trunk than a nose.
His enormous nose alone is 2 inches wide.
It must weigh about a ton. Great big, massive, enormous hooter like that. You'd have to use a tablecloth as a hanky. That's why he had to give up EastEnders. Yeah, one big sniff and Barbara Windsor would disappear up his nose. Yeah, he installed a mini bar so Barbara could make herself at home, a portable telly. How did he pick up the signal? Via his massive satellite dish ears. So, Mike's getting made over into a Rastafarian, but it's not just the makeup. He's got to master the accent as well. Now, he speaks a little Rasta, but only a couple of words.
I've never, ever done this before in any length of time. You know, I've turned around to someone and said, you know, onion rings. That's all I've done.
Yeah, you're enough to get by. You're on holiday in Jamaica. You fancy McDonald's, you can point at most of the menu, can't you? You fancy a side order, onion rings. Now, Mike's first task is to convince a booker that he's a DJ. DJ Remo.
My name is Remo, man. I was recommended to you by some guys.
Oh, sorry, your name again, is it?
Remo. Well, I'm not here often, but I'm back here now and I need some work. I'll get some stuff off for you, and okay. Bye.
By Jove, I think he's got it. It sounded just like a 35-year-old Rastafarian.
Well, I tell you who it sounded like? What's that guy, Mike Reed?
It's lucky guess, lucky guess. Mike wasn't too happy about it. It even affected his clutch control.
Tired and fed up.
Holiday showdown now. This week, it was the Jenkins family.
I'm funny, I'm mad, I'm crazy, I'm sad, I'm reliable, I'm trustworthy, I'm great company.
Yeah, just go back a couple.
I'm sad.
They normally like to go to Butlins, so Holiday Showdown sent them on a barge holiday on the Birmingham Canal system.
Come and join us for a tour around the 8th wonder of the world. The Birmingham Canal system.
What's that? The Birmingham Canal system. There's a clue in the name, love. He doesn't like Welsh people, so guess who he's sharing his holiday with?
110 miles northeast in the Forest of Dean, close to the Welsh border, live the Jones family.
You get the idea? They try to make it so there'll be arguments. Mrs. Jones has a theory on why some people turn their noses up at a canal holiday.
The only reason people don't go on canal holidays is because they haven't given it a go.
Or because they have. This couple are so proud of their origins, they even tried to out-Welsh each other.
Husband Neil, who spends his free time coal mining, likes to think he wears the trousers.
Scab! Strike-breaking scab! Yeah, my hobby is picketing coal mines. Yeah. Coal mining? That's work, surely. It can't be a hobby if it's work. Well, the difference between coal mining for a hobby and coal mining for work is, if it's a hobby, you have to put it back again. Yeah. Half of the hobby is getting the coal out of the mine, the other half is down there gluing it back in for the next time. If his hobby is coal mining, what's her hobby? Hitler impersonator. Yeah, she does Hitlerograms. Channel 5 have got another sharp programme. Yes, presented by Johnny Rotten. You know, from I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. He has a highly individual presenting style.
Sharks, born free, unlike me. They're tax-free. Leave them alone. I will. All I'm doing is swimming with them. You too can. Huh? There's words in, you know, filling up the Bible, and we all know what that's about. This is something else. It's nature, I think. All it makes me want to do is go, whee!
Here's a bit of him off duty. Come on, Mr. Rotten, time for your medication. The thing is, if you're as weird as Johnny Rotten, how do you make yourself look normal? Hang around with someone weirder than you. Here's something I learned from Johnny.
Last year, 791 people were killed by defective toasters, only 4 by sharks. Now, I don't see no great rush to exterminate 100 million toasters.
Yeah, well, then we wouldn't be able to make any toast, would we? I mean, I like sharks, but the advantage of a toaster over a shark... Obviously, a toaster takes up a lot less room on your worktop. Yeah. I don't know about you, but when I meet a baby, I never know what to say.
He's beautiful. Hello. I'm the one that told your mum she should get rid of you.
Yeah, maybe not open with that, you know. EastEnders this week appear to be sponsored by the Tea Marketing Board.
I've, just put the kettle on you now if you fancy a cup of tea.
I'll make Pauline a cup of tea.
Any tea in the pot? I'm parched.
I'll go and make us another cup of tea.
Tea? Fancy a cup of tea?
I'm making tea. I want one of coffee.
Sorry, the machine's broken.
Tea, best drink of the day. No going back. Chaos at the castle now. The story of the Burgo couple who decide to do up a chateau in France and turn it into an hotel. It's the usual thing. Total tip, out of their depth, run out of money, can't get it finished in time. I think there's a reason why they're behind schedule. Yeah, pick up the pace a little. Yeah, your first guests are arriving any minute. Less haste, more speed. Colette decides to grow all her own produce. Now, I'm not saying she doesn't know what she's doing, but, well, here she is watering the field.
So she...
That's a hell of a lot of trips back to the tap. Nigel Marvin was back. This week he was in the company of the meerkat.
No other mammals work together like these little mongooses. Even we humans only come close on our better days.
Yeah, maybe that's slightly overstating it, Nigel. You know, I mean, meerkats are pretty organised, but I never met a meerkat, for instance, who had a pension scheme. You haven't managed to grasp the idea of a long and short-stay car park, have you? Indeed, they don't even wear pants. But no matter. Nigel was developing a bit of a crush on one of the other lady meerkat wranglers.
Can I go and have a close look at them?
Yes, of course.
Have you ever wondered why the bat-eared fox is so called?
Bat-eared fox. A predator that can kill prey instantly by chopping its jaws together 5 times a second.
They've got a robber's mask, like a raccoon, but they get their name from those enormous ears.
It's the enormous ears, yes. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Onion rings. The bat-eared fox is much better organised. They've managed to set up a shift system.
Most of the animals around here work night shifts.
The meerkat, as cuddly and playful a critter as you're ever likely to meet. Or are they?
Meerkats. But are they really darlings, or do they hide a darker side?
The darker side of the meerkat? Surely not. Well, once you start looking into it, you realise that for every bad thing that's ever happened, there's been a meerkat involved somewhere along the line.
Come in, hold your horse.
They get everywhere. I even spotted one on EastEnders.
Your taxi's here.
Yeah, I know. I was kidding. You know, I've been thinking about what Johnny Rotten said about sharks and toasters. Which is better? There's only one way to find out. See you after the break. Go on, George. Give him the bike. Welcome back. The bike thief on Coronation Street strikes again. Now you see it. Now you don't. And on Holby, Zubin and Jess finally got it together. And you know when it's love, because when you kiss, there's that certain spark.
Oh, simple thing, where have you gone?
Ken Barlow turns down chance to go on Celebrity Mastermind.
If anything symbolises the utter bankruptcy of Western civilization, it's a television quiz show, so count me out.
And Radio 1 DJ Chris Moyles takes a shortcut to work. This This was the bill, and DCI Meadows was trying hard to hide his real emotions, but if you listen hard, there was the tiniest clue in his voice.
And who was it, just when I thought things were beginning to happen, who had me babysitting while they went out on a date?
It wasn't a date. It was my cousin.
I saw you kissing him.
Isn't it strange how people end up looking like the back of their transit vans, though, eh?
One of them was sort of medium height. He was
But the Bill's big story this week was Kerry's funeral. And don't you hate it when you book a dyslexic florist? Kebby? Who's Kebby? It should be Kerry. I booked the same florist for my nan, yeah. I wanted R.I.P. What did I get? R.I.D. Rid. Rid at last. Thanks a bunch. Oh, poor Kebby. All her colleagues at Sunhill took the funeral badly.
Well, you didn't miss much. Well, apart from Gabriel throwing a Gwyneth.
Yeah, I didn't miss much. Yeah. It was a funeral. What was he expecting? A stripogram? Here's something you never thought you'd see. Sam Dingle chatting up Patsy Kensit.
I want to know all about you.
What, even me Uncle Nebuchadnezzar's goiter?
That was his opening gambit. Then to draw her into his web, he pays her a compliment.
You've got lovely glittery eyes. They're like tinfoil.
He's got a book out of Sam, yeah. Sam Dingle's Book of Chat-Up Lines. Let's have a look. Yes, stage 1. You have lovely glittery eyes like tinfoil. Yeah, that's the first one. I like your figure. It's all curvy like a curly-whirly. Yeah. Your cheeks are so rosy red like Uncle Nebuchadnezzar's goiter. OK, stage 2, right? Ways to get the girl home. What's a nice girl like you doing in a rough soap like this? If I said you had a beautiful body, would you let me rub myself against your leg? Enough! That's Sam Dingle. His brother Kane is a totally different kettle of fish. Always looking for a fight.
So he's bringing his own condoms, is he, eh? What? That lad, the one at the bus stop, does he bring his own?
You are a sad, sick old bird.
Just come here and say that.
She just did. Once Kane's made his mind up, you wouldn't think that one person would be able to hold him back. Let me at her. Let me at her. Hey, let me at her. New show on Sky One Mix, The Real Mrs. Robinson, in which a mother and daughter date the same bloke. And he has to pick the one he wants to take for a weekend in Milan.
Will your 20-something bloke go for the beauty of youth or the sophistication of the older woman?
That's one word for it.
A bottle and a half of wine later, Tracy's pulling out all the stops to convince Dave she's still young at heart.
Her heart's staying young because it's deflecting all the age onto her face. They're very much a team, these two, like best friends.
We do everything together. She does my hair, she pulls my eyebrows out.
Well, looking at her, maybe she shouldn't be pulling quite so hard. In the usual manner of these shows, they start with a search.
Very similar sort of face as Peter Andre.
Yeah, there was the Peter Andre lookalike. And this one, Dom Skedger.
Dom, who sang the girls a song about sonic booms.
I heard a sonic boom. I heard a sonic boom.
I heard a sonic boom. What a lovely song that is. You don't often hear songs dedicated to scientific phenomena. Other hits include I Saw the Aurora Borealis and I Experienced Global Warming Due to the Effects of CFCs on the Ozone Layer. In the end, they settle on David, a 20-something nightclub doorman who's bowled over by Jade's stunning intellect.
Where are you from originally?
Oops. Jade appears to have forgotten where she's from.
Where am I from? I know this one. Eggs. Eggs, yeah. Originally, then we moved to Bromley.
Mother and daughter pretty much agree they don't really go for David.
He is just
a big-headed, feminine, male chauvinist pig.
A feminine, male chauvinist pig, yeah. How's that work? Yeah. That's someone who hates themselves, isn't it? Oh, I hate myself for being so feminine, I really do. So they both go on the date, and he's so spoilt for choice, he can't choose. So, what does he do? Take both of them to Milan?
The only way I feel I can make this up to you is to send you two to Milan.
Yeah, I like you both so much, you can go without me. Then, to round the programme off nicely...
After the recording of this programme, Tracy couldn't find a babysitter, so Jade went to Milan with her friend instead.
Whoa! What was the idea of this show?
Will your 20-something bloke go for the beauty of youth or the sophistication of the older woman?
So which one did he choose then?
David is now seeing a receptionist called Mandy.
Hang on! This isn't a show, is it? This is just some things that happen. It's like an episode of Wife Swap where they don't swap wives, you know. They swap dogs, and then one of the dogs gets a cough, and one of the husband's nephews goes and spends some book tokens. The end. Corrie now, and I think my favourite character is little Chesney. Yeah, he's tiny. He's one of the few people I know who can eat his cereal from a bowl whilst in a bowl.
What have I told you about teaching him there?
Meanwhile, down at Baldwin's knicker factory...
All right, then.
Who are they going to fit? It's all gusset. Look at it. Well, they're a very special order for, a meerkat. Yeah. They finally organised pants. Elsewhere on Corrie, Blanche had some exciting news.
Yes! We've done it! We're on! On what? Top of the Tree. It's a new game show on television.
A new game show on television? So, what's the idea behind it?
They get 4 generations of the same family, and they have to answer questions. And if they get so many right, they win a car.
4 generations?
Me, Deirdre, Tracy, Amy.
Amy? She's only a couple of months old. Who ever heard of a baby on a quiz show? Is that top of your tree or out of your tree? Amy, you're coming to London.
In which of these places is the National Space Centre? Final answer. The right answer you've got £125,000.
But we don't want to give you that.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for this evening.
That's all we've got time for. And to sing us out, Dom Skedger off The Real Mrs. Robinson with Sonic Boom.
I heard Sonic Boom. Now I'm caught between the sun and the moon. I heard a Sonic Boom. I heard a Sonic Boom.
Saturday night means it's X Factor. Yep, it's next here on ITV1. G4 Sing Britney Spears. I can't wait. On ITV2, it's The Block, Australia. And on ITV3, Close to You. Friends and family, remember Karen Carpenter.
TV Burp. Hugh Fernley-Whittingstall's diet finally catches up with him. I don't remember eating that. On British Isles, Alan Titchmarsh gets tough on moles. Dirty camera on the bill. Actors lend a hand.
Hello?
know what it's like, though, fellas? You're walking through the woodland and suddenly you stumble upon a young girl in a clearing. Excuse me, fair maiden, I wonder if I might just have a quick...
I would like to get some...
Oh, no, it's nothing. No, it's nothing. Of course not. No, this was beyond River Cottage with our old friend Hugh Fernley-Whittingstall. Previously, he was cooking lamb's hearts and tongues and nettles. Just how do you qualify to be cooked by Hugh Fernley-Whittingstall?
Catching a conger has put me in a bit of a quandary. There aren't many fish with a worse culinary reputation. But then I'm also thinking, waste not, want not.
Conger eel, you're coming to River Cottage.
Skinned and headless, the body of this great eel is placed in a fish kettle on some sliced fennel, onions...
I like the way he's giving such a detailed recipe, like anyone's going to go out and make it.
2 bottles of white wine and 2 litres of water.
Yeah, 2 bottles of wine, that'll just about take the edge off it. I don't remember seeing conger eel on the fish counter in the supermarket. Hey, £40 of conger eel, please. Now, leave the head on. Gives me something to talk to while I'm cleaning the spuds. So, he's cooking the conger eel, but even Hugh knows that that's not going to go down too well, so he takes the edge off it with a few lobsters.
Freezing lobsters for several hours before boiling them is the prescribed method for humane dispatch. They fall into a deep torpor and are dead before they wake up.
Yeah, that's the humane way. Freeze them, then boil them. Yeah. Before they wake up, they're dead. Yeah. What did the lobsters think of that? Well, we managed to get hold of one of the lobsters' diaries. Look, he keeps a diary. One of the lobsters. Let's have a look here. Here we go. Wednesday, 31st of March, 1999. I swam about a bit, rested on a rock. Right, OK, skipping ahead. Thursday, the 20th of May, 2000. Swam about a bit in the morning, caught a prawn. The conger eel is getting very smug, saying no one has tried to catch him yet because he has a very poor culinary reputation. Jumping ahead. Here we go. November the 5th, 2004. Met Hugh Fernley-Whittingstall off River Cottage. Seems very nice, although his kitchen stinks of dead conger eels. November the 6th, suddenly got very cold, feel quite sleepy. November the 7th, morning, suddenly unbearably hot. Afternoon, woke up dead. Well, so what else is on the menu?
This one will be medium, and this one will be very rare. And there'll be a few little well-done bits at the ends.
Wait a minute, I've seen those before somewhere.
Doctor! Here, quickly! Doctor! Doctor!
Giant maggots! Get back in that roasting tin. Quentin Wilson's back. Hooray! Yes, with Britain's worst wife. Boo! First up, Laura. And if you want to be sure your kids are ready for school in the morning...
The kids even go to bed in their school clothes.
Put them to bed in their school clothes. Here's another contestant, Kel. She can't even open a microwave.
Oh, my God! Sesame, I'm gonna cry.
Did she really just say open sesame? I mean, that really is your fallback position, isn't it, after everything else? After everything else has failed. Open sesame! But she perseveres. How do you know when a pizza is ready?
Doesn't tell you. Do you just put it in and wait until it goes brown and then take it out?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Put it in, wait for it to go brown. Right, that's all foods. Chicken, is it brown yet? Beef, is it brown yet? Conger eel, does it stink yet? She's the only person I know who uses a smoke alarm as a timer. Here's Kerry, whose speciality is Italian food, apparently.
Nice to see a home-cooked meal, but then again, we are talking mayonnaise pasta topped with corned beef.
Enjoy.
What's that? Pasta Chavanese? Hey? Hey? She also does a penne con ketchup and linguine al Branston. Yeah. EastEnders now. Not for the first time, a strange black cab arrived on the square. Who on earth could be in it?
You're going to be long, mate.
It's all right, mate. I'll walk from here. Keep the change.
Oh, it's Den again. Yeah. Isn't it strange how people end up looking like they're straw donkeys? Den and his donkey. That could be the new test card. At least Pat was pleased to see him.
Here, you've got a satellite up there, haven't you? Keeping an eye on us. Whoa, Den watch.
No, Pat, no. He's trying to put all that behind him. And I'm sure, like me, your heart sank when you saw this.
I'm sure a good-looking fella like you won't be single for long anyway.
Not a football competition again. We've got weeks of this. I want to manage it. What are we going to call it? He's no good, he can't be in it. Someone's dropped out, you have to step in at the last minute. Core, I never knew you was really good at football. Please, not this. You know, couldn't one of the Ferreiras get ill again or something? So, it's the Wolford Wanderers, and Billy Mitchell is thrilled to be managing the team. And, of course, he's got a new baby in the family.
Tomorrow you'll be able to tell Freddie that you were the first manager of Wolford Wanderers. Do you think you'd be proud of me?
No. Why would he be? Hey? Would he be proud of a dog in a wig? Hey? This whole football thing, I don't know. But it does give Billy a chance to have a bit of fun with a Subbuteo set.
It's just on his own. He turns on a sixpence. He's just got minty a beat.
The EastEnders Subbuteo set. We've got it here. Look, there they are. All the players. There's Gary there. There's Alfie, Minty. Then, of course, there's Billy, the manager, Billy Mitchell, in his stinky coat. Then we've got Kat Slater. There she is. Still, got Wellard. There's Wellard, look. There's Ronnie Ferreira. There he is. With his kidney. Oh, there he is. And who's this arriving on the square in a black taxi? Could it be? Oh, it's Den again with his little donkey. Yeah, with his little... Oh, and who's that driving it? Look. Can you see? Oh, it's me, look. Look. Oh, dear. I'm losing control of the taxi. Oh, no. I've run over all the Wolford Wanderers. Yeah. Anything but the East End Pubs football team competition story. Casualty now, and Comfort still hasn't grasped what's happened to Finn.
We've been carrying out further forensic tests on a metal bar close to where we found Finn. The tests show that the blood on the bar is Finn's.
What are you saying?
I must invite her round for a game of Cluedo. The bill now, and the bin men have missed out Todd Carty again. I tipped them at Christmas and everything. Poor Todd. Inspector Gina Gold summed it up.
Well, I thought I'd let you know. I've moved Gabriel to the front desk for the rest of the shift.
Any particular reason?
Yeah, June said he had a little wibbly-wobbly while he was out on the show.
Yeah, a little wibbly-wobbly. Yeah. And when he shot Kerry the other week with a rifle from the roof, that was a bit of a rifly-roofly. Yeah. Oh, dear. Old habits die hard for Gina. She used to be a traffic cop. If you're in trouble, though, the Sunhill squad will come to your aid as quick as lightning. Coming! Oh, can't be bothered. She gets a stitch after 3 yards. Don't you hate it, though, when you're trying to interrogate a suspect and he's constantly distracted by a fly?
He tell me I can pay him back by bringing jobs to him. He take my passport. I've been working for him ever since.
So you help arrange the couriers for him?
After they arrive, I sit with them in the flat until they until the jobs come.
Which brings us to our TV highlight of the week.
Here comes a truck.
it's like. You fancy a quiet pint in your local, but there's always some nutter there behaving strangely.
It's a special milk diet, and he's sucking the milk from the bread. The milk's a special milk full of vitamins and all the calcium that he needs. He loves that. If he was with his mother, she'd lick him after he'd suckled. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm simulating that by using some wet cotton wool on his tummy there, and that makes him go to the toilet.
You're barred! Of course not, no. This was Nigel Marven's animal nightmares, rats. Nigel Marven surely must be the clumsiest animal handler in the world.
There it is. Look. Way. This is... Away! Look at that!
You know what they say? Once bitten, twice... bitten. And Nigel's little friend, that was Haw-Haw the rat.
He's a brown rat, of course, and he's very successful in Northern Europe and America.
Still waiting to break through into that tricky Japanese market. Nigel taught us some things that rats like to do in their spare time.
We're on a day out to a walk-through shark aquarium.
Can we go to the shark aquarium, Daddy? Or an art gallery or a West End show? What do you suppose rats taste like?
I've got to ask you this. What does that boiled rat taste like, Chris?
Boiled giant rat?
Yeah.
It's juicy. It tastes a lot like squirrel.
Squirrel? I mean, squirrel.
Oh, well, thanks for clearing that up. Yeah. I tell you, one of my favourite programmes at the moment, Selling Houses Revisited on Channel 4. It's just so exciting. I can hardly wait for next week's instalment.
Next week on Selling Houses Revisited, I discover if a young Sheffield couple finally managed to buy the new house they'd set their hearts on.
Drop everything! Cancel that night out. Take the phone off the hook. I want no interruptions. I need to know if the Sheffield couple buy the house or not.
Hey, Tommy!
Hey, what's that?
Sounds like Jerry Sarge. Hey, Tommy, it is Selling Houses Revisited on the telly. You know, the one where they find out whether they buy the house. What say we stop fighting for an hour or two and watch it?
Yeah, all right. After that, it's, location, location, location. I love that Kirsty Allsop. Hooray! Can you see? At last, my theory of relativity is almost complete. E equals...
Hi, Dad! It's Selling Houses Revisited on the TV.
I'm busy.
It's the one where we find out if they buy the house.
Cutting.
Full speed ahead, Mr. Wilson.
What's the rush?
We've got to be back in time for Selling Houses Revisited. It's the one where we find out whether they buy the house.
Oh, it's all right. I know a shortcut. Yeah. It's icy, but quick. Going back to Nigel Marven's rat programme, what happens when a brown rat invades a black rat's territory?
The black rat is vanquished. In disputes over territory, size always matters.
Well, you can't possibly say that on the basis of one little tussle, you know. Which is better, the black rat or the brown rat? There's only one way to find out. Fight! See you after the break. Go on, black rat. Give me some. Welcome back. Johnny Rotten's nature programmes. The nation votes with its feet. After new drugs advert, DSI Meadows makes it clear where he stands.
This'll do for me.
And Stacey Slater tries for a job with Hugh Fernley-Whittingstall.
Dog food pie and a handful of weeds.
Cameraman on Corrie sent to bed early. Yes, it's Coronation Coronation Street, and it was the Barlows' big TV break as they appeared on the new TV quiz show, Top of the Tree.
What is it, Emmy?
Dumped her on the croppers. Well, I don't want her wailing all the way through the show and ruining it.
Oh, not that we'll be able to see it on this little thing.
Yeah, Dad, why don't you go and buy another one? It's not every day you're on the TV, is it?
No, it's every other day. Top of the Tree, though, what a show. It's enormously popular.
I've got an audience of 200 waiting to be entertained.
200 people all there to watch Top of the Tree. Just listen to the noise that audience makes.
What does money do?
Yeah, it's just like this show. We must have, what, 600 people in tonight? Isn't that right? New show Conviction on Tryout Channel BBC 3. Yes, the Tryout Channel. It's like throwing sausages at the ceiling. Every now and then, one will stick. It's a cop show with a difference. One of the cop's main characteristics is that he's blurred. Now, and Steph was on a roll, proving she can still pull the blokes.
How good of you to come to see me at such short notice.
Miss Stokes, how's your father?
Well, I just made the bed. Picture this, though. You've got a small part in Emmerdale. It's only a small part, but you want to get it right. You want to be rebooked, maybe become a regular character, who knows? You've got one line in the cafe. You have to say... Nothing. Why do you ask? To Viv. But lunch is approaching. You just can't keep your eyes off that menu. Nothing. Why do you ask? Nothing. Why do you ask? Forget the menu. Nothing. Why do you ask? Concentrate.
What's your problem?
Ham and cheese salad?
Nothing. Why do you ask? Holiday showdown now. And the Tunney family seemed unfamiliar with the format.
They're worried they'll be taken somewhere they won't like.
It's Holiday Showdown! Of course you won't like it, that's the point of it. There's supposed to be arguments, otherwise how are we, the viewers, supposed to feel better about ourselves? I don't know about you, but when I go on holiday, you can keep your sun, you can keep your sea, your leisure parks, your fancy restaurants. The only thing that really interests me is... Has he got a waxworks?
It's got the theme park there, it's got the tower there, it's got the swimming pool there, it's got the waxworks there, it's got the crowd, it's got the parks, you've got the theme parks, you've got the sea, you've got everything, you've got waxwork, you've got everything.
I know what you're thinking. It's got the waxworks, I want to go. But what's the food like? It's great.
Sausage and chips.
2 hot dogs.
Steak and kidney pie and chips.
Beans and chips.
Burger and chips.
A kebab.
Burger and chips again.
Chips and burger.
I really, really don't want another burger.
What about hot dog?
Suddenly that conger eel is looking rather tasty. The Haven on Channel 4 told the story of Findhorn, a retreat for people in search of alternative lifestyles. And if music be the food of love... Yeah, you've not quite got the hang of that, love, have you? Yeah, you've not quite got the hang of that either. There's no bog roll in the loo. Anyone seen the bog roll? There were 2 rolls in there this morning. That wasn't you playing the panpipes, was it?
Enough! Hey!
That's the music. And the food?
Spiritual enlightenment.
Nice, but a hell of a queue for the buffet. At the Findhorn Centre, they believe in such notions as reincarnation. This fella thinks he's been reincarnated as a duck. Hey, who threw that poppadom? One of their main instructors is Franco Santoro, a shaman. Yeah, this is money for old rope, isn't it? I could do this till the cows come home, this. That bloke in the yellow jumper, he's just a cabbie, came to pick someone up in 1979. Never went home. He's into tree hugging, which he finds extremely stimulating.
I allow my whole body to embrace it from the belly up to the heart and also my head. And I spend some time there, and I can sense my spine resonating with the tree, and I can sense my old treeness.
Never heard it called that before. Well, they're a lovely bunch, if a little slow in their ways. They've been trying to come up with a logo for the centre.
For almost a year now, the community has failed to agree on the design.
Yeah, they've been trying for a year, still no agreement. They've had a few goes.
They've even been given a grant.
Someone's got a spirograph for Christmas. Yeah, that one just about says it all, doesn't it? Yeah, well, we've come up with a few ideas for logos, yeah. There's this one, look. Please bring own bog roll. There's this one. No can bites. And my favourite, I'm hugging it. Well, that's all we've got time for. Who the... It's the Codre family from Holiday Showdown. Hello, Harry. Any grub going? Can I take your order, please? Let's eat to the beat.
Oh, pizza, I love pizza. Let's talk about chicken in the pizza. Oh, pizza, oh, pizza. Let's talk about chicken in the pizza. McDonald's, McDonald's. Let's talk about chicken in the pizza. McDonald's, McDonald's. Let's talk about chicken in the pizza.
Next tonight, a brand new series of celebrity challenges, starting with Vinnie Jones.
We're counting on Vinnie Jones to save the club.
With a little help from my friends. And then...
Tonight, the X Factor moves to the new time of 6:55 when the 6 remaining acts will be singing live for your vote. That's the X Factor tonight, 6:55 only on ITV1.
Welcome to TV Burp. We unearth love child of Charles and Camilla. Peter Andre mugged by gypsies. Hugh Furley-Whittingstall gets job as sheepdog. And EastEnders producers work out a subtle way of sacking the actors. Here, what's your idea of a dream home?
The best things in life are free. Dawn Keyes lives in Rayleigh, Essex, in her dream home with her dream lifestyle.
A yellow house guarded by 2 Shire horses. What's the feng shui on that? This was our old friend Wife Swap, and here's a phrase that fills every viewer with joy.
Lisa Litchfield is an ex-bouncer who hasn't worked in over a year.
Yeah. Bouncers, not as popular as they used to be, are they? Lisa Litchfield. Lisa, how are you spelling that?
My relationship with Mick is...
L-E-E-S-A. Litchfield. Litchfield. No relation to Lord Litchfield.
No!
Ah, I wonder whether she might be the slack sheep of the family. No matter. Lisa is staying with Essex building magnate Paul Keyes, who has a fairly open mind.
I always say you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but when it comes to appearance, I think you can. Sometimes you look at the things that they've got to say, put a bit of decent clobber on and done her face up nice, you wouldn't be a bad salt.
Yeah. Don't judge a book by its cover, but you can judge people by their appearances. He's used to doing pretty much nothing around the house. Well, a few chores.
It's all done for me, so the only household chores I have, really, is running me bath.
Oh, what chore that must be, eh? Well, do I have to? So, Lisa moves in, and it's pretty much a world of chores.
I first walked in, and my
shopping, washing,
pleasure to do housework in here,
polishing, and I think my favourite chore...
It's not the pets.
Picking up dog's mess. Yeah, you know when you're sitting at home and you're watching a large lady retching as she picks up dog's mess, and you're thinking, Ah, John Logie Baird. If only you could see what your invention, the television, was being used for. Ah, you'd be so very proud. Well, after that, Lisa deserves a lie-in. Fully clothed, face down on the bed. Poor Lisa. She doesn't want Paul to think her a slob.
You don't want your husband looking better than you, or you don't want your husband to feel that you're a slob.
Yeah, well, the Asda bag in the sink doesn't help. Meanwhile, across town, Lisa's husband Mick is sharing with Paul's wife Dawn. He takes her fishing.
I've been sitting watching you, and you haven't looked at that once. You've been looking over there.
I've looked at it.
You're showing no interest whatsoever.
No, how many times have I asked you about all your
That's
bits
right.
and bobs and that? I'm asking
and you're
about
asking
it.
out of the sake of asking.
No, I'm not, because I'm asking.
You're asking for the sake of asking.
The name? J.R. Hartley.
Look at that. It's like a football hooligan shirt, isn't it? He's not even into football, he's into fishing.
He's a fishing hooligan. Yeah, he travels to all the big European rivers and picks fights with foreign anglers. Yeah, remember the River Rhine in '96? We really give it to them. It's coming home, it's coming, fishing's coming home. We love you, salmon, we do. We love you, salmon, You're going home in a keep net. Well, you got the idea with that. So Dawn is not too happy with the swap because she knows that across town, Lisa is living the dream.
Lisa dreams about having a nice big home. We all dream about that. Lisa is now living her dream.
Yeah, she's living her dream. Dream, 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 dream. See, Dawn is used to better. Take the garden.
He told me his garden looked like the Chelsea Flower Show. Where can that look like Chelsea Flower Show?
Yeah, maybe he's overstated that slightly. Although I've heard that at next year's Chelsea Flower Show, they're doing a wife swap garden.
And this, Your Majesty, is the wife swap garden.
It's a little bit chav for my liking. Is that you, David? Quentin Wilson's back again. Hooray! With Britain's worst mother-in-law. Yes, the search continues for a suitable vehicle for Quentin.
Did you know that mother-in-law is an anagram for woman Hitler?
Yeah, rearrange the letters of mother-in-law, woman Hitler. Let's just try that. Oh, no, I'm getting, I wish I'd never given Top Gear. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. So, Britain's worst mother-in-law. The contenders are Brenda.
With her relationship with her daughter-in-law and family in tatters, Brenda seeks solace with another family. Her collection of dolls.
My beautiful little girl, I love her, she's sweet, very special, this one. I think of these in my bedroom as my little sisters.
And they think of you as the scary giant who keeps brushing their eyes with a paintbrush. That house you've got for them. It's far too small, you have to break their legs to get them in. So that's Brenda. Then there was Margaret, who was a bit of a, well...
As well as being a card-carrying whinger, Margaret has absolutely no plans to grow old gracefully.
She's a bit of a tart.
Call Wayne Rooney! Call Wayne Rooney! Your ship's coming, mate. Meanwhile, another customer at Hugh Fernley Whittingstall's restaurant pays the price. Of course not. No, this was an electric belt, an American secret weapon as seen on Crazy Rulers of the World with John Ronson, in which he delved into the various methods of warfare developed by the US.
We had a master sergeant that could stop the heart of a goat.
What, just by looking at it?
By wanting the goat's heart to stop.
And did the goat's heart stop?
He did it at least once.
A very useful trick if we're ever invaded by goats. What's your first reaction when you see something you've never seen before?
You serious?
Yeah, no, it's in all the books. I have never seen it before, not in 20 years
Is
of looking.
this something quite rare?
Yeah, it is a really quite rare fungus, yes.
Can we eat it?
Can we eat it? Osprey, can we eat it? Rhinoceros, can we eat it? Apparently his wife had to stop him from eating the kids. Baby, can we eat it? This was beyond River Cottage, and down on the farm, one of Hugh's lambs was having its temperature taken.
And a quick once-over confirms that there's not much to worry about.
Ouch! Painful. You can imagine how you might walk after that. I didn't like that man, Mummy. Which brings us to our TV highlight of the week from Foyle's War. A little bit of Foyle's gold. Billy Jones returned to our screens this weekend with a little help from my friends, in which he refurbishes his old football clubhouse with people he hasn't seen for years. Look at the size of his finger. Take someone's eye out with that. We learn of hard man Vinny's Achilles heel.
Cows. Vince hated cows.
When I was young, I was so wary of the cows. You would never cross a field if there was a cow in there.
He's probably still frightened of them now, to be honest. So I can't see him doing that celebrity get me out of here.
Yeah, he'd be no good at I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, would he? No, not with that fear of cows. Wouldn't be able to do that Bush Tucker challenge where you have to be buried in a pit with a cow. Or stand there while a whole load of cows are emptied over your head. Or you have to retrieve the gold star from a Perspex box with your teeth. But here's the tricky bit, the box is full of cows. Here, do you ever get that weird dream where Coronation Street is visited by Scooby-Doo?
Here's to us, then. Stop it!
Scooby's dead. Some people say that Coronation Street is a sort of idealised version of the North. Well, this week they tried hard to represent the other, perhaps more familiar side of Manchester. Do you ever just catch the end of a story and wish you'd heard the beginning?
Filling veg, open the cupboard door, and no casserole dish.
Sounds like a belter. Karen was in a right strop.
Well, look at it!
Right! That's enough!
Ouch! Didn't just use a fist, no. She's got a deadly weapon. Clint Eastwood had his Magnum, James Bond had his Walther PPK, Luke Skywalker his lightsaber, and Karen?
No!
The cushion! She hit him so hard it nearly knocked a sock off his foot. I shouldn't laugh. I wouldn't want to upset her. So what's Steve up to? Well, he's invented a new pub game. Yeah. It looks easy, but it's quite tricky, that. But it's all going down at the Barlow's place.
Cup of tea, love?
Yes, please.
Oh, you'll have a job. There's no milk left. Someone's guzzling the gold top fast as we can buy it. It's like having a giant blue tit in residence.
Giant blue tit in residence!
Morning.
Morning!
Someone's guzzling the gold top fast as we can buy it. It's like having a giant blue tit in residence.
Blanche! It's breakfast time!
I'm not hungry. It's not toast earlier.
But who is better, Karen MacDonald or a giant blue tit? There's only one way to find out. See you after the break. Go on, catch her. Welcome back. Anne Robinson reveals latest new look. Down a river cottage, Hugh Fernley Whittingstall's compost heap takes its revenge. OXO adverts go up a gear. And on the bill, they introduced that electric belt. Is it me, or do you find when you're watching the bill, as soon as Rob Thatcher comes on, your telly starts playing up?
Yeah, hi.
First the vertical hold, then the horizontal. Here, what's the best way to start a dog race? And they're off. Of course not. No, this was Emmerdale, and it suddenly dawned on Patsy Kensit.
When did it all become so dull?
Just after you signed your contract, love. I must say, I'm enjoying Betty's return to the village.
I got you your paper, love.
Oh, much obliged.
Oh, hey, it's like something off the telly out there.
Somebody tell her. And now, the man who chews coffee.
Have you thought about writing your own vows for the service?
And this week, Viv momentarily lost her bearings.
Get out of my house. It's a shop.
No such problem for Emily.
So, Mrs. Kirk, you say you last saw Michelle Williams on Tuesday the 28th of September in Emmerdale.
That's right.
Then I turned over and watched Pat Butcher in EastEnders. For me, Emmerdale has always trodden that fine line between soap and farce with great aplomb, but occasionally it drifts over into full-blown carry-on.
You're in early.
Trying to catch up on all the paperwork.
Just like your brother.
Carry on, Emmerdale. But this week saw some fine performances from Alan Turner.
Dad?
I just want you to come and see me dead.
Wait a minute, I recognise that face. It's Jabba the Hutt. Isn't it weird how people end up looking like their drinks orders?
2 dry white wines and a large tomato juice, please.
OK, you're a kid and you're offered your pick of the sweets in the shop. What do you go for? Curly Whirly? Mars bar?
Come on, love. Now, what would you like, eh? A chocolate bar? Bag of crisps?
Dunno.
Oh, go on. You can have anything you want, love.
Big box of after eights. Yes, I'm holding a dinner party later. Just 1 or 2 friends from school. And we should finish it off nicely. You haven't got a bottle of Tia Maria, have you? My favourite programme at the moment is The Haven on Channel 4, the story of Findhorn, the centre for alternative lifestyles, where they try to live in harmony with nature. For instance, if you cut the root of a tree, you would be expected to apologise to the tree.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. She sliced through the root of a tree.
I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, we're encouraged to overcome problems by positive thought. And if that fails, there's always the chainsaw. Sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. This week, 2 members of the Haven, Geoffrey and Myra, were to be married. Naturally, there was the stag night.
Despite the rain, Geoffrey's still ready for some male bonding.
I just feel really nurtured, I suppose, by other men.
You sure you should be getting married?
My partner is off having her hen night, and yeah, just spending the whole night having a pyjama party with her girlfriends, so...
You sure she should be getting married? Naturally, they'd want some music at the ceremony.
We have songs from every tradition, from Islam and Christianity and earthy sort of shamanistic songs.
Yeah, you got any Celine Dion? The one off Titanic? No? What about Love Is All Around by Wet, Wet, Wet? We did get a slight insight into why the inhabitants of Findhorn are all so happy and carefree. Ah, Special Blue, the tramp friend. Which special BBC fundraising event happened this week? Well, there were a few tiny clues on casualty. Yeah, if you didn't spot it, there was a slightly bigger clue a little later on Holby.
I meant what I said earlier. I shouldn't have just gone off like that. I am really sorry. I just...
Oh, children in need, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, there's even Gabby Roslin in the background, look. Here she is. Yes. Funny how certain sounds make your surgical mask change shape, though, isn't it? On casualty, they had a rare case of werewolfism.
Pulling against the door,
Where a man turned into a dog. There was also a quiz.
I've trained for so long to do this. I mean, I've wanted to be a doctor since I was...
A10, B11, C12 or D13. Press your red buttons now. Elsewhere in Holby General, Chrissy's mum was feeling better than she expected.
Okay, anyway. Yes, you are. Come on, I'm not up to a post-mortem tonight.
Well, don't have one then. Yeah. See how you feel tomorrow. Musicality now on Channel 4.
It's May 2004.
No, it isn't. At times, I wasn't sure this was so much a singing competition as a crying competition.
Oh, I just want to go home. She's very frustrated. Well, I was frustrated myself. I need to get over that and just get it out and move on and start with the claim to get now.
Okay, till somebody else starts.
Look, we're all
Sorry.
here.
I must say, I do find this crying thing, it's good in a way, but I do find it boring.
In my view, the star of the show is Gareth Valentine, the musical director. And tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be drunk Barbara Streisand.
Ice candy and the sun's all bright. Don't bring up our clouds away.
Hey, you saying we're getting you. He's got a very clever piano, though. He starts playing it, and once the piano's got the hang of it, it carries on by itself. Now he's playing it. It's all right, I've got the hang of it now. You can never wander. How do you react when you're given good news? Well, your first concern is my nose going to drop off?
So the first person to go through will be Caroline Graham. Number 2 will be Kerry Newton. Then Donna Hazleton. And the last person to go through is Alex Hogg.
Well, that's all we've got time for, and to sing us out, it's the winners of Channel 4's Musicality.
I know it's hard to take, but her mind has been made up. There's no more fish in the sea. Dry your eyes, mate. I want to make her see how much this pains us. But you gotta walk away when it's over. Dry your eyes, mate. I know it's hard to take, but her mind has been made up. Many more fish in the sea. Dry your eyes, mate. I know you want to make her see how much this pains us. But you gotta walk away when it's over. Dry your eyes, mate.
Now, I'm Celebrity is bigger, better, buggier and back tomorrow night from 9 on ITV1. You would have thought she'd had enough, but Kerry, our queen of the Last Celeb Jungle, has another challenge next year on ITV1 with a little help from her friends. While on 2, get behind the scenes of X Factor and Excess All Areas. Or on ITV3, drama of a different sort with Churchill.
that Abby Titmuss might be single again. The boys from the Bill weren't wasting any time.
Abby!
Billy Connolly prepares for his world tour. Well, it's back. I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And let's have a look at some of the top names who are aiming to relaunch their careers. Paul Burrell, of course, the royal butler. Janet Street Porter off live TV. Huggy Bear off Starsky and Hutch, yes. Natalie Appleton from All Saints, yes. Nancy Sorrell. Vic Reeves' wife, of course, yes. Anyone? Used to what? Used to sing with Travis. You used to sing with Travis? No, of course, the former bodyguard of Westlife, of course. No, I missed off Joe Pasquale. Here he is at home.
That's about it, really.
Those ornaments, what, is he still living with his nan? Hey? Natalie, though, eh? Here's a bit of Nat from early on in the week.
Please, come and get it, please, somebody.
Yeah, she's just the sort of person you want with you in the trenches, isn't she, eh? A real team player.
I can't do it! I can't do it!
I can't do it! I can't do it! I've done it, yeah, I've done it.
I wanted to do this so badly.
You are doing it so badly, love. Natalie is, of course, married to the bloke out of The Prodigy who had that hit, Smack My Bitch Up. Eh? Paul Burrell, though, eh? Everyone wants to talk to him about Princess Di.
The minute that Janet opened those floodgates, everybody wants to ask a question. But I don't really want to talk about that very much. It's not about... This isn't about the monarchy or anyone else. It's about Paul Burrell.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Oh, very well. My Princess Diana stories are £50 each. Yeah. My Charlie stories, they start at 25. I've got some lovely ones about the princes. They're £12 a piece. Or if you're a bit short, I could dish the dirt on Lord Freddie Windsor for £5. And another thing, where did he get those muscles? It's from carting all that stuff up into the loft. Eh? It's the cops. Quick, everything back up into the loft. Maria, get that frock off. Give it to me. I like the way they just referred to Antonio Fargas as Huggy. Like he's done nothing since 1978. I'd like to see nicknames for all the celebrities. Yeah, well, we've got some here, look. There's Huggy. There he is. We've got Janet Street Porter, of course we call Gobby. There's Brian, look. Druggy. There's Joe Pasquale, Squeaky. There's Nancy Sorrell, of course, Wifey. There's Natalie, Baby. Paul Burrell, we call Traitor. And finally, of course, Fran Cosgrave, of course. Yeah, not sure who he is. Was he the lead singer off Travis? But, oh. Isn't it weird when your house turns into a barbershop quartet, though, eh? Of course not, no. This was Chubby Chasers on ITV1, where we learnt for the first time about BBWs, or Big Beautiful Women. How do you go about getting so big? Well, for some, it's the glands. For others, it's the pizza. Hey, who ordered the A3 pizza? Doesn't come in a box. Comes in his own suitcase. But what of the Chubby Chasers themselves? Well, there is a burgeoning group of men who love the bigger lady. Well, I say men. He only looks about 12, look. Hey?
In her life, she realised that her body...
He's going out with his mum. Mum, can I go to the toilet? But what the programme really taught us was it's fine to be big. Take Tracy. She's a big girl, and what's more, she's carrying it all on that one leg. Yeah. Now, Tracy was out to prove that you can be big and still be attractive. She teamed up with another Tracy for a photo shoot. But how to tell them apart?
This is little Tracy, size 6. And this is... Tracy.
Little Tracy and, Tracy. Yes. The two Tracys together, though, they remind me of a famous double act. What's its name?
You look like Morecambe and Wise.
The Morecambe and Wise, that's it. See, Tracy's main beef is there's just no sexy clothes for the larger woman. Well, that's all about to change.
There we have one of the Basques. The one that Tracy in. A cami top. French knickers.
Wait a minute. I've seen those French knickers somewhere before. After the success of Little Britain, Brian Sewell jumped on the bandwagon. I'm a lady! This was Brian Sewell's Phantoms and Shadows, the story of Rolls-Royce cars, and he fancies himself as Brian.
I am a great, noble, powerful machine.
You're an annoying knob. He can talk about them, but can he drive them? Yeah, you failed on two things. First was your clutch control, and second, you're an annoying knob. With a little help off of my friends now, and last week it was the turn of Kerry McFadden. Kerry's task was to build a children's playground at Alderhay Hospital.
Welcome to Alderhay Hospital.
You can't treat people there, it's a building site. Get your priorities right. Before you start building the playground, maybe you should put up a couple of wards. Kerry and her old school chums get to work on building a sensory garden. Sensory garden? What's that exactly?
Sensory garden is just when you can go outside, sit and chill out somewhere, got different smells around you, different surfaces like there. You've got pavement, haven't you? Like paving slabs. Then you've got grass and you've got different colours.
Well, isn't that pretty much any garden? We had what I call a sensory garden last week on Wife Swap. Wife Swap USA. Wait a minute. What's this? They take the format of the great British show Wife Swap, winner of the Best Factual Show at the National TV Awards. They've taken the nation's favourite factual programme, Wife Swap, flog it to the Yanks, and if that's not bad enough, they then broadcast it over here on Channel 4, the same channel that showed the British version. Yes, they do. And, of course, something as subtle as Wife Swap doesn't go over quite so well in America. No, so they had to yank it up a bit.
Each week, from across America, two families are chosen. In the first week, the wives live by the rules of their new family, however different they may seem. Then in the second week, the wives get to change everything.
I like that yank treatment, yeah. I'd like to see it done to other British shows.
They bring old stuff and have it valued. The stuff they bring may be worth big money and may change their lives. Or they may not wish to sell it, as it has overwhelming sentimental value. Antiques Roadshow.
This week on Emmerdale, Emily revealed her fears.
Right, a giraffe then.
What's wrong?
I'm a bit nervous around clowns.
Then you're in the wrong show, love. Of course not, no. This was Emily's fear of clowns. Naturally, this very real problem was handled delicately by the Emmerdale writers.
Chorophobia?
Yeah, but what?
Fear of clowns is the makeup and the feet.
Was that all?
And the nose and the hat and the funny ring thing around the middle.
Okay.
And the way they squeeze into cars. There shouldn't be so many people in a car. I have nightmares. I'm in a car. Clowns are coming in. And I don't want them. Don't make me talk about it.
If you've been affected by any of the issues in Emmerdale this week... Now, if you had a programme which followed the problem of binge drinking amongst Britain's population, what would you call it? That's right, Booze Britain, which followed two groups of people out on the booze.
Andy tries to talk to the patient.
How much have you had to drink this evening?
Not much. Yeah, you might not have had much to drink, but you are only 8 inches tall. Oh, but the characters that inhabit Booze Britain.
My friend's having a baby, right? And her boyfriend drinks Stella all the time, and guess what they're calling the baby?
He liked to drink Stella, so what did she call the baby? The Artie? The Elizabeth?
Stella.
Stella, of course, sitting there expecting some sort of twist to the story. Then there was caterer to the boozed, something of a celebrity in the northeast, Burger Barry.
Burger Barry has been dishing out hot food to late-night revellers for over 15 years, and he still loves it.
It's the best job I've ever had in my whole entire life.
Which begs the question, how many jobs have you had? Well, I've got his CV here. There he is. Name Burger Barry, previous employment, North East Water Board, job description, sieving raw sewage by hand. I bet he's got some stories, though, old Barry.
A few weeks ago, a kid come up and went, "Can I have a hot dog, mate?" I went, "Aye." He turned around and he says, "Well, I want it to come on either side of the bun." And I went, "You get what you're giving me?" I says, "150. He says, "I'm not paying that," so I slapped it in his face.
The search for a new Peter Ustinov is over. It's Burger Barry!
Shall we see who is in my green room tonight? Why don't we? It's a fantastic lineup.
You know, a kid come up the other way. He says, "I want a hot dog, mate." I says, "Aye." He turned around and said, "They want it sticking out either side of bun." I said, "You get what you're giving us, £1.50. He says, "I'm not paying that." I slapped him in his face.
So, Burger Barry, you must have a lot of stories to tell.
Oh, well, a few weeks ago, a kid come up and says, "I want a hot dog, mate." I went, "Aye." He turned round and he says, "I want it sticking out either side of bun." I said, "You get what you're giving us, £1.50. He says, "I'm not paying that." So I slapped in his face.
Now, our next guest has been serving fast food to boozed-up Geordies for over 15 years.
In the North East, please welcome Burger Barry. Thanks.
What a real woman.
Well, you didn't always sell burgers, did you?
Well, no. I used to hand-sift sewage for the water board. I tell you, that was the second best job I'd had in my entire life.
Right, OK. Now, you brought some of your fare, some of your food with you. Could you just, talk us through it, please?
Yeah, well, that's like a burger. That's a burger, see, like that's got a burger in it. And that's a cheeseburger. It's like a burger, only it's got cheese in it. And that one there, that's a hot dog.
Oh, I prefer mine, sticking out at both ends.
You know, thinking back to chubby chasers, who was more attractive, little Tracy or Tracy? There's only one way to find out. A fire! See you after the break. Go on, Tracy. Here we go. Welcome back. It finally dawns on EastEnders that they've got a problem.
It's not getting any better. It's getting worse.
And if you were wondering what happened to Anne Robinson's old face, Sharon Watts has got it. Julie offered us his Bruce Forsyth impression.
You've done the right thing, Miller boy, the right thing you have done.
You've done the right thing, Miller boy, the right thing you have done. Is it me, or is Bruce Forsyth looking more and more like Basil Brush? Boom, boom. Which brings us to our TV Expert of the Week.
TV Expert of the Week.
And there it goes, slash over. Anybody in there right now is dead.
You know, sometimes you suspect that a friend has maybe had a little too much coffee. Telltale signs. Yeah, maybe go for the decaf next time. This was my favourite programme at the moment, Channel 4's The Haven, the story of Findhorn Centre for Alternative Lifestyles. And this was Daisy, head cook at the Haven's restaurant, who likes to dance whilst uttering life-affirming chants.
Likes to dance and chant life-affirming messages.
Yeah, I was a bit like that when I had scabies. I just couldn't seem to settle. Down at Findhorn, they've got a sort of theme park.
And we also have a little place just in the back over there called Placenta Park.
I bet that's a nice place for a picnic. Placenta Park. That's not the same as Centre Parks, is it? Yeah, stay off the water slide. Violence of all kinds is discouraged at Findhorn. You can't even put down a mousetrap.
I have developed a mousetrap. What happens is, the mouse walks up there, goes in there, peanut butter on the end here, goes up there, falls in, and falls in there. Water for it, nuts, and bedding.
Yeah, good luck with that. He does catch a mouse in it.
It lived for quite a long time. No, it lived for half a day.
And then it died.
And then it died.
Yeah.
We think that was because he didn't have any bedding at that time.
Yeah, he died from lack of bedding, yes. In some ways, it seems suddenly even more inhumane than a regular trap. No, at least they don't suffer. Unlike his mouse, lands in the plastic container and thinks, first job, go to bed. He changes into his little pyjamas, he brushes his teeth, he looks round for his bedding. Nothing, not even a little piece of straw or shredded paper. He lies down, he puts his little paws under his head as a pillow and cries himself to death. So, I've got hold of the Findhorn Mousetrap Mark II. Here it is. This is the Mark II, right? OK, so here's the main entrance hall. There we are, we saw that earlier. And that opens into the chill-out zone. There we are. The CD player. Playing mainly whale noises, that one. A few little scatter cushions, right? And then that leads along to the bedroom. There we are, it's the bedroom, double bed. A little Corby trouser press there. A mini bar, it's got lots of nice little pieces of cheese in it, there we are. And that leads to the ensuite facility. And there's that. Oh, what's this? A mouse committed suicide, pinned to his chest a tiny note. What does it say? Yeah, let's have a look. I had to end it all. The reason, no tea and coffee making facilities in the room. Back to the drawing board. Coronation Street. And this week, Dev and Sunita had her mum and dad over for a quiet curry.
So what were you two talking about?
This and that.
Of course, the problem with the curry, it's very nice on the night, but you pay for it the next day. Of course not. This was Maya's revenge. All 7 shops blown up, and they all happen in the same way.
Sunita, the alarm's going off at the airport shop. I'm going to have to go and check it out.
Don't go being a hero.
Don't worry, darling, it's probably just a cat that's climbed in through a window or something.
Alarm's going off. Fair enough. Might be a cat. Better go over the shop, then. Oh, dear, it blows up. I mean, if the burglar alarm was to go off in another shop, maybe phone the fire brigade?
Would you mind coming over? The alarm's gone off.
The alarm's going off. Let's get down the shop. Might be a cat. But hats off to Sunita, who brought to the role a depth of expression that had hitherto remained hidden. What's that, Sunita? Hey, the corner shop's about to blow up. Better call the police. Nah, pop down there, it's probably a cat. Of course, Maya wasn't too happy about Dev and Sunita walking away scot-free. Whoops! She crashes into a house, but she's still alive. That's a bit of luck. Oh! That must surely finish her off. But no, she's still alive. Here's what happens next. She won't die! It was the last in the present series of Alan Titchmarsh's British Isles. More please, BBC. And as it was the last episode, Alan felt he ought to give us a little lesson about how to look after this great country of ours.
The British Isles are a special place. I mean, just look. We live in the most beautiful group of islands with a matchless variety of plants and animals and scenery. And whether your little bit of landscape is down in the town or out in the open countryside, don't just sit there and look at it on the telly. Come out here, smell it, touch it, feel it.
Don't assume he hasn't got a telly. I mean, the country he describes, that's not the country I know. Roll it again, and let's make it a little more realistic.
The British Isles are a special place. We live in the most beautiful group of islands with a matchless variety of plants and animals and scenery. And whether your little bit of landscape is down in the town or out in the open countryside, don't just sit there and look at it on the telly. Come out here, smell it, touch it, feel it. Get up close to it and among it, and you'll learn to love it and to care for it.
Well, that's all we've got time for. Good night.
Next year on ITV1, former jungle mate Jordan needs some help, and I think there's a high possibility Peter Andre's involved. Over on ITV2, the build-up to tonight's live X Factor continues as we excess all areas. And on ITV3 next, the last in the series of Churchill.